Court advocacy is a specialty which combines treatment background with the legal system in order to produce an outcome that usually includes alternative sentencing. Part of my job is to put together an assessment and evaluation to present and humanize the defendants to the court. The prosecutor's job is in its title. He's there to prosecute. He sees hundreds of faces every day, every week, for months and years on a time, and never really, unless an advocate is brought in, gets to see the humanistic side and understand the relevant factors why people behave the way they do. I mean, really, judges are handcuffed in a lot of their decisions because there's no outlet for them to use their discretion. And so when properly informed and given a strategy and a plan to incorporate the alternative sentencing programs, it's been beneficial for all parties involved. Sometimes I have a great advantage over attorneys because my job and my scope of practice isn't there to debate the client's culpability or guilt or innocence. So I'm not tied to or bound by the same type of strategies that attorneys are. My outcomes have been, quite frankly, very promising. Some would say astounding. There's people out in society today that have spent years free of incarceration and active addiction because they were given an opportunity to participate in an alternative sentencing program versus being incarcerated. I'm a product of the system myself. I spent years in incarceration without any opportunity of rehabilitation, and a judge gave me an opportunity. Instead of spending 17 to 25 years in federal prison, he gave me a suspended sentence and put me into a program. And it was the most amazing experience. The reason I do this is so that you moms that are out there and you dads that are out there know that someone who's been through the system can help you sleep better at night, knowing that your son or daughter or other loved one is in a treatment program and not in a prison cell or a jail cell. I mean, I do this because I love it, and the biggest payoff of it all is when we have a successful outcome and a father or a mother or a husband or wife turns to me and says, "Thank you."
I take the sanctity of the doctor-patient relationship very seriously. We're dealing with vulnerable people in vulnerable situations. I am a stranger. I am delving into great details that can be embarrassing, that can be humiliating, and certainly the ticket of admission to the unit. But when I meet with a person, I need to be able to connect to a part of them that's a part of me. It's really true empathy. And if I can't relate to that part of the person, I can't do a good evaluation. I can go through all the textbook steps of asking the right questions at the right time, getting the right information, but I haven't approached it in an empathic way. I've done my patient a disservice. The participant's family in treatment is critical. It is, in my experience, when there is a family, the sine qua non of success. I was trained in an area of psychoanalysis and family therapy. I spent 2 years at Cedars-Sinai under the tutelage of then the person considered most versed in family therapy, Saul Brown. And I've taken what I think is the best of his work and I apply it in the realm of addiction treatment. And you need to involve the family, first of all, to get information. Then you need to involve the family in terms of treatment as an ally, as someone who is truly a member of the treatment team. Oftentimes there are family issues that are propagating the addictive problem or the problem behavior. That can only be addressed in family therapy. So the bottom line is, without families, without utilizing family therapy, without doing that type of work, our work at Nuhab would not be as successful. Well, the initial birth of Nuhab happened approximately 2 years before this place existed. And that birth was borne out by the fact that I would do many forensic evaluations as a forensic psychiatrist for attorneys, and I would be asked by the judge, where do you suggest now that we send patient X? And I stammered, I stumbled, because there wasn't a good place. And I thought that we could and I could do better. So I got together a group of people, and that group of people got larger and larger, and Nuhab started.
Generally speaking, long-term treatment works, and that consists of therapy, counseling, in some cases psychiatry, in some cases, or most cases, maybe 12-step support, testing, regular testing, not random, but regular testing, and a safe and healthy living environment. When you have all of those aspects and all of those tools at your disposal for anywhere from 4 to 6, 9 months to a year, the level of success is much, much greater. Nuhab being an outpatient program, we are more cost effective in this sense. What some people will pay to be in residential treatment for 30 days, you could be at Nuhab and have residential treatment and have treatment for 90 days to 4 months, what a lot of people pay in 30 days. In some cases, 30 days works for some people, but in most cases it doesn't. And I can say that with anecdotal, with anecdotal experience and through many observations. We have a very holistic approach, multidisciplinary approach, and we have 12-step, introduction to the 12 steps. We do relapse prevention. We have yoga. Our psychiatrist here facilitates 2 groups. It's a combination of educational and experiential, And as a group facilitator myself, I really, really try to create the energy of the group so the group can take a life of its own. Allowing people to seek basically kind of like a collective consciousness, and getting people to let down their guard, which requires some laughter, which maybe requires some tears, and allowing the individual to make themselves available to the group. And some of the salient subjects you can bring up would be, asking somebody to create meaning. How do you create meaning in your lives? And what does meaning actually mean to you? Like what gives your life meaning? And generally speaking, when you ask a question like that, it creates a certain amount of empathy, interest, and passion. And that's just a small example. So our overall philosophy is educational and experiential. And being able to provide that in an outpatient setting, I think, is what makes Nuhab new.